all the like knowledge I have about how that. So I replied. I was just like, I will give you 10 grand. I will give you $10,000 if you can do that.
It's worth your time now.
It's worth your time now.
Look, we were told you had
some
some sort of
Where's your
warp
excuse?
disc.
Huh? Yeah, sure.
And it's just like,
Okay, we got everything we need. Let's get back
I don't
to
know
Ranch's
how
place and
to.
see if he, can help us
I don't
encode
know
them
how
onto
to
this
have a
machine.
conversation when the person on the other side of the table is not capable of existing in the same plane of reality that I'm in. They say, I can get that screwdriver for $10, and I say, you cannot.
Can I interest you in?
Would you like to reevaluate your position? No, thank you.
I gave you your warp disc. Now get the fuck out of here.
And I don't know how to deal with that. You know?
Yeah. I don't even know why I stick around here. If I leave, you're all dig-dang bloop. Just try and find a chosen one better than me. I dare you.
Oh, no. Please.
It's like, what do you want from me? Do you need my invoices from Mega Pro, from PH Molds, from ITD Tool and Die? From do you like we're pretty transparent actually.
Someone's asking if they can enter the contest. You can't do it.
Go for it. You
That's
can't.
the whole point.
There is no AliExpress vendor. Those handles are injection molded in. In Pitt Meadows, Maple Ridge, British Columbia. Like, you can't. It just doesn't work that way.
Not a thing. You're missing the point, my dude.
And it's like, it's one of those things where, if you were willing to open your eyes and open your mind, you would know. I mean, we have footage of me in the injection molding facility, hand building screwdrivers. Here,
I got some on me.
I can't.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
No, keep going. I was trying to derail us. So if you want
No, it's great. I mean, honestly, like, obviously, you guys are the Wancho audience. You guys get it, and you've got my best interests at heart, I think, and you're sitting here going, Linus, don't engage. And you're right, but the thing that you haven't experienced. And, one of the reasons that, honestly, Luke or the other people internally here or my fellow YouTubers are some of the only people that I feel like I can really talk to about these things is that
thank God.
you've never experienced
Did you bring my
these thousands or hundreds or even dozens of attacks that come,
and you're not allowed to
Jesus Christ.
defend.
Man, hey, are you all right?
and you guys are basically
you
saying,
having a heart attack,
don't defend yourself.
Is it Fergal withdrawals?
But the thing is that it doesn't go away. And in some cases, what can happen is it can even grow. And so, I'm kind of looking at it going, okay, a perfect example is when we had that, that sexual assault accusation, right? And I basically took the very controversial, internally, move of kind of going, okay, here is my entire relationship history, start to finish.
The only part that was controversial with me was
while you're sort of stuck on the ground like that, doing whatever it is you're doing.
I
Don't be
didn't
mad
even know
at
it tastes
us.
like smoke. I will never forget that.
I just thought it was kind of
Looks
funny
like it's working.
for that one. It was the most memorable thing about it.
Sorry, keep going.
So I took the controversial move of basically going, okay, fine, then, full transparency. Here's everything. So anything that doesn't match that,
You ready?
I will not be acknowledging because that didn't happen. So now I don't have to talk about it anymore. But like, there's kind of this contingent that refuses to acknowledge any sort of fact or reality, and is always just kind of. I mean, haters gonna hate, I guess, is the bottom line, and it wears on you.
Yeah.
Like, it really does.
You want to do something about it, and like
Never give my Fergals.
this happened on my tour
Hey,
of,
I've got a crazy
of
idea.
OVH.
What if we
But
just
there was
swap
the,
out this mansion for Krubus's base?
Let me see. Yeah, the RTX 6000. And like, whose fault is it that there's a part called the RTX
We'll all be
6000?
damned.
It's
We found
Nvidia's.
Krubus officially.
But I had to
Hey,
say it
come
in the
down here,
video,
asshole.
and I knew when I said it that people are gonna go, huh? And there's and this is so light, and who cares? But there's all these comments everywhere on Floatplane, on YouTube, on everything. What an idiot! That card doesn't exist. What a dummy! And the whole time, and this is so light compared to what he's talking about. But every single time I read that, I'm just like, man, like you. There's a bunch of parts in the video that are not that great. Like, you can call me out on that. But why are you calling me out on this? Duh! And then I want to respond to every single one of them. And then it's just like, okay, no, I need to not.
Yeah. And
It's just not reasonable.
And it bothers you, right? Because, like, especially in cases where you know you were right, you just kind of go, well, now you're gonna sit and think that forever.
Yeah.
And given that our entire job is trying to inform people about technology,
Day in and day out. But
I just like, I could sit at my keyboard all day correcting misconceptions. Literally all day and do absolutely nothing else.
That'd be a fun video.
I mean, we've done Linus responds to haters, I guess, or no, we've done Linus responds to mean comments.
Do like the thumbnails like you pointing at the screen as if you're wrong.
But here's the problem. So we, I guess about 6 months ago, we created, well, I shouldn't say we, James created, it doesn't matter, timeline doesn't matter. Sometime in the last little while, James created a document called How to Make Good Videos. And in How to Make Good Videos, he created a section based on a conversation that we had called The Laws of Linus. And there's a bunch of really interesting stuff in here that I have, even though not all of it is actually from me, it was a team effort building it. And I probably wouldn't have called it that just because it's sort of a silly thing. But it's got, he put a flex
It's a fun
arm.
acronym, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Sure. Yeah. So the lulz. Got him. Really did like you better than Kim Pop. It's a better show that way. So
It was a little disheartening how many people were like, this was the best show. I was like, all right.
yeah, speaking of haters. Okay, I have to tell you though, and this is the first time I'm telling him on air, but I told you after the show last week as well. It is actually far more helpful than you and you guys probably realize to have a friendly presence. Like, essentially a living, breathing laugh track / supporter just sitting next to you while you ramble on and on about things, kind of nodding or raising an eyebrow when you say something stupid. Like, I can imagine at the height of the pandemic, you know, being an athlete, performing in an empty stadium.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, did I play that shot good? You know, like, there's no feedback whatsoever, and it really does get you going. Anyway, back to the laws of Linus. One of the laws is never insult the audience.
It doesn't go well.
Yeah, and I do it from time to time. I break the rules. You know, I honestly feel more liberated with the Floatplane audience, because realistically, they pay for the subscription, they're probably hardcore, they can probably handle it, and, you know, every once in a while, you know, there'll be a brain dead enough take that I'm just like, you know what, no, we're gonna talk about this, because that's pretty bad. But I shouldn't, because, hold on, I'm trying to find the part of it. This is driving me absolutely crazy. Okay, fine, I will resort to finding a place. Is it insult or no? It must be attack.
Fine, you don't have
Yeah, here it is. Do not personally attack the viewer, no matter how wrong or stupid their beliefs are, not even an implied attack. And this has actually helped us a lot over the last little while, because there have been a few videos where we'd make an offhand joke. Say, for example, about, like, DDR2 memory, being old. And it's like, well, hold on a second. In a lot of parts of the world, DDR2 is like still expensive and still current. And it's easy to live in our North American bubble and it's not even necessarily wrong to live in our North American bubble because that's where solid, like, almost 60% of our viewership comes from, with probably another 30% from, Western Europe. So, like, your Germanys and UKs and Frances of the world, places like that.
Let's give him a glove shot. Right out of my
But
trick hole.
you've got to understand that when you are broadcasting to literally millions of people, if only 1% of them are personally attacked by what you say, then you just upset 1,000, 10,000 people? For what? Why? To what end? Like, why? So one of the things that I'll do during script review with people now is I'll say, like, hey, why are we poking fun at people who liked Windows Vista? That's just an example. Why are we doing that? And they're like, because it's funny, because they're dumb. I'm like,
hey, bud, the
well,
name's
I like
Feels
Windows
good
Vista.
to meet you. Look at you, man. Pretty slick.
Not so
taking out
funny now,
cougars
is
like
it?
that, rescuing me from indentured
But that's not even the
servitude,
point,
et cetera,
because
et cetera.
B,
I love that kind of stuff.
who
No,
cares?
I love
Is there a
that.
benefit?
That's the kind of stuff
and
I love,
honestly,
man.
this
Do
is
you mind if I
something
tag along
where
with you for a
Yvonne
bit?
has been a really good influence on me, because she has basically said, hey, look, I think that you're too aggro, and I think that you're going to catch a lot more flies with honey than with vinegar. And she's right. I have basically never I shouldn't say I have never. I have rarely witnessed like an aggressive approach winning an argument on the internet.
Here's what I do.
Think
I
about
shoot
it.
This, right? They stick onto certain walls, and you can climb with
I
them.
agree with the statement in general. I think sometimes
See, that's what I'm talking about.
It is
now
not-
climb up there. Aren't you glad you met me?
Okay, so this is a tech channel. We're talking about tech topics,
Yeah.
so it should basically always be honey. Because who cares?
Sure.
But I don't think this applies to all arguments one could have, if that makes sense.
Hey, you're not supposed to be down here.
No. Don't shoot this guy.
We've talked about this before.
Pretty
I don't remember
chill,
how I
right?
phrased it, but I
Use
think it
that
was like
whenever
sometimes
you
you want to
want.
catch
It's
them
cool.
with the vinegar or
And I see
whatever.
another wall
Like
you can climb. You
there's
see
certain
that,
times
right?
where like I'm not willing to acknowledge any potential benefits of the other side, so I'm not going to approach it. With
But you don't have to acknowledge merit. You don't have to acknowledge any
Still
merit of their
far
argument
away.
when there
I'm
isn't
not
any.
sure you
But
can
you
jump
could
to
acknowledge
that.
maybe how they
Do
feel.
I have to do fucking everything? Combo time. Use me to tether over to that desk.
there are certain arguments where I think no. There is not like a ton of them necessarily, but there are certain arguments where I think no.
That's fair.
Let's see how much
Intolerance
you talk
will
when
not
you're
be
dead.
tolerated.
Yeah.
Finally, enough of that guy. They kicked him out of the G3
What
'cause he
we
was so
will
damn
also not
annoying.
tolerate
He's
is
lonely,
AI
he's
art
bitter,
generators
and get a life. Some people need a life,
blatantly
and he needed a
ripping
life,
off
man.
the source material on which they were trained. That's right. There is already two major copyright lawsuits against AI art generators. Getty Images claims that Stability AI scraped the Getty Images site using it as a database to train its own AI art generator. These claims are corroborated by an independent study that found that Stable Diffusion was trained on hundreds of thousands of images sourced from stock image sites. Notably, Stable Diffusion has a funny habit of recreating the Getty Images watermark in the images that it produces. And this is figure 2 down below. This
Actually
is
hilarious.
hilarious.
That's really funny.
I'm starting to think you forgot
Whoops.
about me, bounty hunter.
This is a super weird image.
It is
Is this supposed to be like
It
a
looks
baseball
It
catcher?
looks like baseball mixed with football.
It really does. I do have to wonder what the prompt was. Also, I kind of have to wonder what kind of roids this guy's got going on here. Though if you take steroids, that is your own life choice. Don't be upset.
Not insulting the audience. I like it. Yeah.
I actually just don't care. Like, if that's what you want to do to your testicles, then like...
Impressed that you killed a G3 officer? Well, okay, fine. I am.
Mine are
It's
bigger.
pretty insane. That's all you're getting out of me. Now, turn that
Okay, I break my rules sometimes.
Might be short, but he's got them big ones.
Oh, cool. You got yourself another talking gun. And this one's green.
A study from the University of Maryland
cares?
found that Stable Diffusion can sometimes end up closely replicating images from its training database. These aren't pixel-perfect copies, but the derivation is pretty blatant. That is figure 1 over here, where,
looks like I
yep.
taught them well.
Wow.
I don't think it takes a genius to see that
I was always hoping you'd find your
there's a
calling.
relationship here.
I didn't think it would be bounty hunting.
I mean, you can't even move the wolves around a little bit. Where's the
Maybe
moon?
hairstyling.
Give me 3
And
wolves
not
and a
good
moon,
at it.
you know?
Wrong with
Give me something to work with here.